Yes, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So I hope that I am clearly audible and clearly visible to each and every one of you. Yes or no? And I am very happy that we are again live on this channel. And today I have brought you a very interesting chapter, and the name of the chapter is the neural control and coordination. So today I can see some of the comments. Hi, Sid, how are you? So in today's session, what we are going to study is that we are going to try to cover this neural control and coordination chapter. Okay, everyone? Yes? Chalo. So if I talk about this chapter, this chapter is kind of, we feel that this chapter is very hard, sir. From this chapter, we are not able to understand the functions of the brain. We are not able to understand the action potential and all of those things. So don't worry, today everything, each and everything बच्चों, सारी चीजें मैं clear up करा दूंगा, ठीक है? चलो फटाफट से start करते हैं. Yes, yes. So I hope that everything is clear. My voice, my audio quality, my video quality, all is superb. Chalo, let's quickly start the chapter. So if I talk about this chapter, bachcho, so why if I talk about this body, okay? If I talk about the human body, so this human body is basically what? This human body is basically a body which always wants to maintain homeostasis. Yes or no? Which always wants to maintain homeostasis. And what is this homeostasis, sir? Homeostasis is basically what? It is something which our body wants to remain at a constant thing. Okay, yes or no? 1 second, bacho. I think so I am having a problem in screen. So what I will do is that I will arrange my screen. 1 second, bacho. Just a second. Okay. Yes, this one is clear. This one is far better, bachcho. Chalo. Yes, now it's fine. Now the screen is fine. Okay, chalo. So what I was saying, that each and everybody wants to what? Wants to be in homeostasis, right? Now, if suppose someone wants to be in homeostasis, what and how should we work? How these guys should be working? See, so we have in our body, this homeostasis can be controlled by the two parts. One is what? One is our nervous system. One is by our nervous system, and second is what? And second is by our endocrine system. Second is by our endocrine system, right? So these are the system which is controlling the things inside our body, nervous system and endocrine system, right? If suppose one has to, increase the osmolarity, so or endocrine system, nervous system, both have to work. That means what, sir? That means this nervous system and this endocrine system must work in a coordinated manner. Yes or no? They must work in how, sir? Coordinated manner, right? Coordinated manner. That means unless and until if they are not working in a coordinated manner, homeostasis will not be present. Clear this thing? Clear to everyone? Yes or no? Yes? Okay. Great. Now see here. Nervous system is what? Nervous system is a system which is what? Which is providing a very quick response. Yes or no? Nervous system is providing a very quick response. How, sir? See, suppose that if I am talking about there is a hot object which is present in front of you. Okay, there is a hot object which is present in front of you and you just touched it. So you removed your hand very quickly. This was a part of nervous system. This thing was done by nervous system. It's a very quick response. But endocrine system is what? Endocrine system is having little slow response as compared to, see, I can't say that the endocrine system is very slow, sir. It is fast, but as compared to nervous system, this is what? This is slow. Okay, great. Now one more thing, bacho, a very important thing is that here if I talk about the nervous system, so nervous system is not present everywhere. Yes or no? Pinpoint, each and every cell is not connected with the nervous cell. Yes or no? So wherever the nervous system is not able to go, at that point endocrine system is working. Clear? This much is clear. So this is the reason that nervous system, endocrine system both are working to make to maintain the homeostasis for a body, and they have to maintain in a coordinated manner. They have to work in a coordinated manner, right? Yes or no? Great. Chalo. So now in this chapter we are not going to discuss about the nervous system. In this chapter we are not going to discuss about the endocrine system. We are going to discuss about the nervous system. Okay? We are going to focus about the nervous system in this chapter. So let us talk about the nervous system. So everyone asks that, sir, our body is made up of cells. Our body is made up of cells. Yes. Our body, your body, bacteria's body, everyone's body is made up of cells. If it's a living organisms, the body is made up of cells. Right? Now my second question is that if I'm going to ask you nervous system is made up of, if I'm going to ask you nervous system is made up of, so sir, you are also going to say that nervous system is also made up of some type of cell. Yes or no? And that cell is known as what? That cell is known as neurons. That cell is known as neurons. So many neurons present in our body is making our nervous system, right? Now this nervous system is of two types. In our body, the nervous system is of two types. What types? So one is the CNS and the other one is the PNS. Okay. So if I talk about the nervous system, so it is of two types, CNS, and the next one is the PNS. Now what is the CNS, sir? The CNS stand for the central nervous system. In our body, nervous system is divided into two parts. One is the CNS and the other one is the PNS. CNS means what? CNS means central nervous system. And PNS means what? PNS means peripheral nervous system. Clear? Yes or no? Great. So I'll write here CNS is what? CNS is central nervous system. And PNS is peripheral. But so what it is? Peripheral nervous system. Clear? Now see here. In CNS, which parts comes in? In CNS, we have brain and the spinal cord. In CNS, what we have? We have brain and the spinal cord. Okay? So CNS part is brain and spinal cord. Right? But if I talk about the peripheral nervous system, if I talk about the peripheral nervous system, so peripheral nervous system is again divided into two parts. Peripheral nervous system is again divided into two parts. How many parts, sir? Motor and sensory. Motor and sensory. Peripheral nervous system is again divided into two parts. Motor and sensory. Okay. Now again this motor and sensory is again divided. Motor and sensory, it's again divided. So motor is of two types. Motor is of again two types. What types, sir? SNS and PNS. Okay. We have SNS and ANS. We have SNS and ANS. Okay. सबके बारे में भी we will discuss. Don't worry. We will discuss about everything. So see here. What is happening, sir? What is happening? This is our body. In our body, we have lots and lots of systems. One of the system is the nervous system. Now, this nervous system is made up of what? This nervous system is made up of some cells. The basic unit of nervous systems in our body is the neurons. Yes or no? Now, the nervous system is divided into two categories. One is the central nervous system and the other one is the peripheral nervous system, right? Now, if I talk about the central nervous system, guys, so this central nervous system is what? It is consists of brain and the spinal cord. Your brain and the spinal cord. Now, if I am going to ask you, what is the function of the brain? If I am going to ask you, bachcho, what is the function of the brain? So, the function of the brain is basically what? It is to make the decision. Yes or no? Make the decision. Decision making part. Make decisions. Right? And if I talk about the function of the spinal cord, if I talk about the function of the spinal cord, so what does it do? It is involved in reflex action. It is involved in reflex action. Yes or no? Right? What is the function of the spinal cord? So it is involved in the reflex action. Clear? Yes? Okay. Now see. Now it also helps to communicate between the brain and the peripheral nervous system. It is also point of communication. दोनों के बीच में क्या करता है? It sets a medium so that the information from the brain going to the PNS can be what can be communicated. Okay, chalo. Now next we have the motor and the sensory. Motor and the sensory is a part of peripheral nervous system. Motor and sensory is a part of peripheral nervous system, right? So what is this motor and what is this sensory? Can anyone tell me? What is this motor and what is this sensory? See, motor is what? When suppose that when the CNS is giving the instruction to the hand. Let's suppose you have touched a hot object. Let's suppose that you have touched a hot object. Okay, yes sir. As soon as you have touched the hot object, what is happening, bachcho? As soon as you have touched the hot object, the main thing which is happening is what? It is your skin is getting the signals. Yes or no? Your skin sends the increase in temperature. From your skin, what is going to happen? Sensory neuron will be present in your skin. Sensory neuron will be present, and this sensory neuron, what it is going to do? This sensory neuron, what it is going to do? It is going to take the message towards the CNS. It is going to take the message towards the CNS. That means what is the function of sensory neuron? The function of sensory neuron is to take the or convey the message from the sense organ to the brain. Yes or no? From the sense organ to the brain. Is it clear? Is it clear? From the sense organ to the brain. Yes, that is very, very much clear. Now what about the motor? See, now the signal for the hot object has been sent to the CNS, right? Now from this, what is going to happen? CNS is going to make the decision. And once the decision is made, this CNS is going to what? This CNS is going to send that decision signal through the motor neuron, and this motor neuron is going to send the signal to the muscles of the hand, to the hand muscles or muscles of the hand. Okay, muscles of the hand to contract and remove your hand. Yes or no? To contract and remove your hand. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone, bachcho? Tell me, is this thing clear? Okay, great, right? So what we have seen here, we have seen that there is a hot object, and from that hot object our skin sensed the temperature. The temperature rose, and sensory neuron gave this information to the CNS. Now CNS thought about it, and then it processed and gave our result. Gave our information to what? To remove the hand. But this information was carried out by the motor neuron. So that means motor neuron is working what? Motor neuron is giving the signal from CNS to the cells or to the body. Motor neuron is doing what? Motor neuron is giving the information from CNS to the body. Yes or no? While if I talk about the sensory neuron. So this sensory neuron is doing what? This sensory neuron is giving the signals from the sense organs to the CNS. Sense organ to the CNS. I hope that this thing is pretty much clear to everyone. Yes or no? This thing must be clear to everyone. Let me know in the comment section, but let me know in the comment section if you have any doubts. Okay, great. Now let's move on. We discussed the parts of the nervous system, that is CNS, PNS. We discussed the function of the sensory neurons and the motor neurons, right? Clear? Chalo. Now, see, if I talk about the motor neuron, so it is again of two types. So let's see the different types of motor neurons, right? Let's talk about the different types of motor neurons. So if I talk about the different types of the motor neurons, guys, so this motor neurons, as we see, it is divided into two parts. What parts are? One part is the ANS and the other part is the SNS. Okay, so let's write here SNS and then let's write here PNS. Okay, right? Is on sorry ANS. क्या लिख रहा हूँ मैं? ANS. Okay, what is the full form here? See, full form of SNS is what? SN is basically what it is, somatic nervous system. It is what? It is somatic nervous system. SNS is what? Somatic nervous system. And ANS is what? ANS is the autonomic nervous system. ANS is the autonomic nervous system. So two types of nervous system we have here. In two types of nervous system we had CNS and PNS. Yes or no? CNS where brain and spinal cord was there. And if I talk about the PNS, so PNS was divided into what? The PNS was divided into motor neurons and the sensory neurons. Now the motor neurons are divided into SNS and ANS. SNS was somatic and ANS is automatic. Okay, or I can say autonomic. So somatic is basically what? Somatic controls all the voluntary actions. We are moving our hand. This movement is controlled by the SNS. Okay. So all the voluntary actions are controlled by what? Are controlled by somatic nervous system. Okay. If I talk about the autonomic, so all the involuntary actions, are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. All the involuntary actions are controlled by the autonomic nervous system. Clear to everyone? Any doubts? Any doubts, bachcho? Let me know in the comment section. Any doubts? Let me know in the comment section. Okay? Chalo. Now one more thing. Again, this autonomic nervous system, bachcho, this autonomic nervous system is again divided into two types. So a sympathetic and parasympathetic. Again, it is divided into two types. One is sympathetic and the one is the parasympathetic. Okay, so chalo, let us divide it. Sympathetic. इसको मैं थोड़ा सा I'll reduce the size. 1 second. I will reduce the size so that I can fit some more things here. Right? Chalo. I hope so. It's visible. I hope so that it's still visible. Yes. Okay. So involuntary, if I talk about the autonomic nervous system, so it is again divided into sympathetic. It is again divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic. It is divided into sympathetic and what? And parasympathetic, right? Okay. Yes or no? Sympathetic and parasympathetic. Clear? Clear? Bachcho, clear? Autonomic is again divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic. What is the difference between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system? We are going to see right now. Suppose that sympathetic nervous system is what? Sympathetic nervous system generally increases all the things like the heartbeat, it increases sweating, and parasympathetic, whatever the sympathetic is doing, it will just reverse it. Whatever the parasympathetic is doing, the work of parasympathetic is to reverse it. Okay? Clear to everyone? Any doubts? Any doubts, bachcho? No doubts till here? Check karo once. Nervous system we discussed. Yes or no? CNS, PNS. CNS is divided into, like, CNS contains the brain and the spinal cord, and after that what's up? PNS are of containing two types, which is motor neurons and the sensory neurons. Motor neurons is divided into what? Motor neurons are divided into ANS and SNS, which is autonomic and somatic. Yes or no? Then what? Then we have this SNS and ANS, if I talk about. So ANS is again divided into sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Clear? Any doubts anywhere? Let me know in the comment section. Okay. Now sir, if I talk about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, so sympathetic nervous system is what? They are antagonistic to each other. Like that means what? If sympathetic nervous system is saying that ki chalo, let's increase the heart rate, so parasympathetic will say what? Let's decrease the heart rate. Okay, great. Now let's have the tissue. We discussed about the types. Now let us discuss about the nervous tissues. Let us discuss about the nervous tissues. So if I talk about in our body, nervous tissues is made up of what? So nervous tissues is basically made up of neurons. Yes or no, sir? Many neurons will make nervous tissue. Yes or no? Yes, obviously. But sir, there is one more cell. There is one more cell which is known as neuroglia cells. Suppose that this is your body. Suppose that this is your body, and in this body nervous tissue is being formed. So many neurons are there. Let's suppose many neurons are there, right? But in some parts, what is happening? Empty spaces is present. In some parts, what is happening? 1 second, bachcho. Empty space is present. Okay, and wherever the empty space is present, which is gonna come? Wherever the empty spaces come present, another type of filling cells will be there, which is known as neuroglia. So beach mein what is present? There is another cell which is known as neuroglia. So I can say that our nervous tissue is consists of one, that is the neurons. Yes or no? Which is very common. Everyone knows about this. One is what? One is the neurons, and the next one is what? The next one is the neuroglia cells. The next one is the बच्चों मैं इधर हो जाता हूँ, neuroglia cells. Okay, what is the function of this neuroglia cells? Helps in packaging. Okay, helps in packaging. But there are some more functions also. We will discuss it in very detail. Don't worry. So neuroglia cells helps in what? Packaging. Clear? Great. Now, if I talk about the neurons, so neurons are having two parts. Again, neurons are having two parts. If you see this neuron, if you see a neuron, so what is going to happen? We make neurons like this. Yes or no? We make neurons like this, and tuck. Yes or no? Yes. So this part is known as the cell body. This part is known as the cell body. This part is known as cell body. And this part is known as what? This part is known as the processes of neurons. The things which are coming out from the neurons. Process of neurons. Okay. So I am going to write here that neurons are made up of, again, it is having of two parts. One is the cell body. Can anyone tell me the another name for cell body? Can anyone tell me the another name for cell body in the comment section? Anyone? Can anyone tell me the another name for cell body in the comment section? What is the another name for cell body, sir? The another name for cell body is the cyton. Yes or no? Yes, it is the cyton. Right? And then what do we have? The next thing we have is the processes. Next thing we have the processes, axons, dendrites, and all of these things, right? So let's write here processes. Okay, right. So again, if I talk about the processes, so there are two types of processes. One process is coming out from the cell body only. One process, so it's coming out from the cell body only, and that process is known as what? That process is known as dendrite. Yes or no? Yes or no? So let me write here dendrite. Okay, कहाँ लिखो चलो, let me write here dendrite. Okay, and the another one is what? The another one is the axon. This one is the axon. Clear to everyone? Yes or no? This one is the axon. Don't worry, I have just made the diagram for the understanding of this neurons. Okay, बाकी everything we will discuss in detail. Don't worry, इतना गंदा diagram बना के नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा मैं. Tension ना लो. Right? Okay, great बच्चों. I think so you don't have any doubts. I think so that you guys don't have any doubts, right? Chalo. Let's move on and let us talk about the structure of neuron. Let us talk about the structure of neuron. Okay. Let's talk about the structure of neurons. Okay. Structure of neurons. Clear? Structure of neurons के बारे में let's talk. So sir, if I talk about the structure of neuron, so we have what? We have a cell body here. Yes or no? We have a cell body, right? Obviously we have this. This part is known as cell body. From the cell body, there are what? There are very small projections coming out, and they are known as what? They are known as dendrites. So here what we have? Here this blue color is the cell body. And this is what? The green color is the dendrite. Okay, clear? Now from the cell body, one more process originates, and this process is known as what? Bataoge? Can you tell me? This process is known as what? This process is known as axon. Yes or no? Yes, sir. This is known as axon. And at the last, what do we have? We have axon terminals. At the last, what do we have? We have axon terminals. Yes or no? Yes. Now sir, there are what? There are some more coverings. There are one covering which is known as what? Which is known as myelin sheets. Myelin sheets, right? There are, in some neurons, there are some coverings which is known as myelin sheet. Yes or no? Yes. And the gaps between the myelin sheets are known as what? The gaps between the myelin sheets are known as what? It is known as node of Ranvier. Node of Ranvier. Yes or no? This node of Ranvier plays a very important role in passing the impulse. So we will see it when we will complete the action potential. Na? After that, we are gonna see how this node of Ranvier is helping. Okay, this is known as node of Ranvier. Clear? Okay, great. Any doubts till here? Any doubts till here? Acha, suppose that it's a cell. It is a cell. And if I talk about what is the outermost layer of an animal cell, what is the outermost layer of the animal cell? Sir, you are gonna say that it is the plasma membrane, right? So, bachcho, if I ask you that what is this? What is this? What is this? So, this is the outermost layer of the neural cells. So, you are gonna say that it is what? It is exolemma. It is what? It is exolemma. Okay? It is exolemma. Any doubts? Chal, fatafat se let's mention all the points. This was what? This was the dendrites. What is the function of dendrites, sir? The function of the dendrite is to receive the signal. It is to receive the signal. Yes or no? Receive signals. And where does it send? It sends to the cell body and sends towards cell body. Yes or no? Towards cell body, बच्चों. Cell body के पास भेजता है. Towards cell body. Clear? Right. Any doubts? Any doubts? Tell me. Any doubts? Tell me, बच्चों. Chalo. Now, do you know that in this nerve cell, one organelle is absent. One organelle is absent, which is centrioles. In nerve cell, centrioles are absent. In nerve cells, I'll increase the thickness of the pen, don't worry. In nerve cells, centrioles are absent, bachcho. That's why we say that nerve cells are not dividing. They are not dividing. Okay, clear? Yes. Okay, nerve cells do not divide. Why? Because of the absence of centrioles. Clear? Okay, great. Now see, there are, if you zoom down this thing, which is a neuron, so you will find what? इससे ज़्यादा zoom नहीं हो क्या होगा बच्चों? होगा. See, what you will find? You will find Nissel's granules. What you will find? You will find Nissel granules. So what is this Nissel granules? See, you will find Nissel's granules. If you want to have this PDF, so after the class, I'm gonna give you a link in the comment section. You can download it from that. Okay. This is what? This is Nissel granules. And Nissel granules are what? Nissel granules are what? It is made by endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomes. It is made by endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomes. Okay. Endoplasmic reticulum and ribosomes. And what is the function, sir? The function is to see ribosome आ गया ना बच्चों, ribosome आ गया, then what? Protein synthesis. What does it do? It helps in protein synthesis. Clear? याद रख लोगे? Can you remember this? Can you all remember this? Can you all remember this? See? Okay. Next what, sir? We discussed about the dendrites. We discussed about the Nissel granules. We discussed that the centrioles are absent. लिख देता हूँ यहाँ पे. Centrioles are what? Centrioles are absent. And what, sir? Now let's discuss about this part, which is axon. Okay. Let us discuss about this part, which is axon. Okay. One more thing, bachcho. One more thing. See, dendrite is always receiving. Then let's suppose this is the circle. This is the circle. Okay. This is a circle, right? And here is the dendrite. Here is the dendrite. I will increase the pen thickness. Don't worry. This is a circle, right? And this is a dendrite. Okay. And this is the axon, let's suppose. So what is happening? What is happening? Dendrite is always giving the signals. Dendrite is always giving the signals. That means Cyton के respect में, with respect to cyton, dendrite is what? Dendrite is giving the signal which is centripetal, which is coming towards the center. That is centripetal. Okay, but if I talk about the axon, so what is axon? Sir, axon is giving the message away from the cell body. Axon is moving the message away from the cell body. So that is known as what? That is known as centrifugal. Yes or no? Clear to everyone? Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any kinds of doubt. छोटा हो, बड़ा हो, मोटा हो, जैसा भी doubt हो, doubt is a doubt. So kindly ask it. Okay? Yes or no? चलो. Yes. Clear to everyone? अच्छा, one more thing. This Nissl granules are what? This Nissl granules are only present where? It is only present in the cell body. It is absent in the axon. All absent in the axon. Okay? Absent in axon. This you have to remember. Nissl granules are only present in the cell body while they are absent in the axon. Okay? Chalo. Great. Now, this was the structure of the neuron. Now, sir, it's fine. I know the structure of the neurons, but sir, what are the types of neurons? Structure of neuron is fine, but what are the different types of neurons? So what is bipolar? What is unipolar? What is multipolar? Let us discuss that. So types of neurons. What are the different types of neurons? One, we have unipolar. Uni means what? Uni means one, sir. Uni means क्या होता है बच्चों? Uni means one होता है. If I talk about the second one, which is bipolar, bi means two. And if I talk about the multipolar, मतलब बहुत सारे. Multipolar. So what does this mean, sir? If I talk about the unipolar, so see here. I'll make a diagram. You will be able to understand it. This is the unipolar. What is this, sir? What is this unipolar, sir? See, only one extension is there. Nothing. Dendrites वगैरह नहीं है. If I talk about the bipolar, बच्चों, so bipolar will be like this. This is the cell body. And this is the processes. 1, 2 processes. How many processes? 2 processes. And if I talk about the multipolar, that which we made right now is the example of multipolar. It is the example of multipolar. Many dendrites, and then we have the axon. Yes or no? This is the multipolar. Now the question arises that where they are present. So see here. Uni means what? Small, one, single. Okay? Uni means small, one, single. Sir, when we are being made, we are very small. When you were very small in the embryo. When you were in embryo condition, you were very small. So unipolar, where will it be present? It will be present in small things like the embryo. Yes or no? Okay. Now bipolar. Have you heard about that? Bipolar glasses. You might have heard about the bipolar glasses. Generally, our grandfathers and grandmothers use those kind of lenses. Nowadays, the technology is advanced, and now we are not able to figure it out. During the earlier times, we used to see something like this in their lenses. Yes or no? That was known as bipolar lens, mixture of concave and convex lens. So bipolar is somewhat related to the eyes. So bipolar will be present where? Bipolar will be present in the retina of our eyes. कहाँ present होंगे बच्चों? It will be present in the retina of our eyes. Yes or no? Clear? Great. Now next we have multipolar. Which is everywhere. Human body, skin and all. Yes or no? Clear. Any doubts? बच्चों? No doubts? Great. If you don't have any doubts, let's move on. Now let us see the types of neurons. On the basis of the function. On the basis of their function. Okay. Functions के basis पे let us talk about the different types of neurons. So we have what? We have sensory neuron, we have the relay neuron, and then we have the efferent or the motor neuron. Okay, how many types are? We have sensory, we have sensory, we have what? We have relay neuron, sensory, relay neuron, and then we have what? And then we have the motor. Okay, sensory, relay neuron, and then we have the motor. Okay, sensory, relay neuron, and the motor neuron. Clear? What does this sensory do, sir? Sensory is also known as efferent. Sensory card different name is what? Efferent. And if I talk about what is the another name for the motor, so it is what? It is afferent. What is the another name for motor? Sorry, one second, bachcho, I made it a mistake. Sensory is afferent, sensory is afferent, and if I talk about the motor, it is efferent. It is efferent. Okay, sensory is what? Sensory is afferent. आ रहा है किसी कोई को, it is taking someone and coming. आइए, coming. A for afferent, A for आइए, right? Okay, motor is what? Motor is doing what? Whatever the signal has been came into the CNS, after the decision, the motor neuron is taking that signal to the effector organ. So effector exit, signal is being exited from the brain. That's why it is known as efferent. Okay, clear to everyone? So I can say that sensory organs do what? Sensory organs, sensory neurons take the message from the sensory organs to where? To the CNS. Sensory organ to the CNS. Okay, sensory organ to the CNS. Now if I talk about the motor one, so what does this motor do? This motor basically from CNS to the motor, or I should say effector organs. Effector organs, like we saw an example of our hand. So when you are moving back your hand, then the example is basically what? Then the example effector organ will be your muscles. And what does this relay do, sir? Relay is basically helping communication between the motor and the efferent. Okay, motor and the efferent. Clear? Any doubts? Yes or no? Any doubts? Any doubts, bachcho? Chalo, I'll move it little bit forward so that you can have a closure look of this thing. So types of neurons are the basis of their function. Okay, on the basis of their function, मैंने function ही नहीं लिखा यहाँ पे. चलो, I'll write here. On the basis of their function. Sensory, this one is sensory, this one is relay, and this one is motor, right? So sensory में what, sir? In sensory what is happening? In sensory what is happening? We are calling it as afferent. Why? Because it is coming. आइए, right? It is bringing the signals from the sense organs and giving to whom? Giving to CNS. Clear? Now see. Now relay is what? Relay neuron is basically दोनों के बीच को communication में help करता है. Relay neuron helps in the communication between the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. Okay. Now let's talk about the motor neuron. So motor neuron is what? It is taking the signals from the brain towards the organ. So exit. So that's why we have given a name as efferent. And ये क्या करता है? From the CNS, it is taking the signal to the efferent organs. What is efferent organ? And again, the example, moving your hand. So when you are moving your hand, you have touched a hot object and you are moving your hand. So how did you move your hand? By the help of muscle contraction. So in this case, the afferent organ is the muscles. Clear? Okay, bachcho. Yes or no? Yes or no? Chalo. Now this is too clear. This is too clear. Now let's talk about some hormones. Neurotransmitters. Okay, some neurotransmitters. What is this neurotransmitters, sir? So if I talk about this neurotransmitters, bachcho, see what is happening now when we have to communicate between two persons. So what do? We just do it like this. Hello, con, yes or no, right? But if suppose the neurons has to communicate with each other, if neurons have to communicate with each other, then what? They are communicating with the help of neurotransmitters. Okay. Now this neurotransmitters can make you happy or it can make you sad. So it can be excitatory or it can be what? It can be inhibitory. Okay. So let's see here. Two types: stimulating or second क्या हो सकता है? Second type can be inhibitory. Okay. Second type can be inhibitory. Now I don't know the spelling of inhibitory, bachcho. What I will do? Inhibitory. I think so. This is the correct spelling, right? Hi Prashanti Rao. Exactly, synapse. Exactly, synapse. Yes, yes, Prashanti. But in synapse also, what it is releasing? It is neurotransmitter which is releasing, right? Okay. So if suppose stimulating में क्या होगा? Stimulating में क्या होगा? It stimulates the action potential. ये क्या करता है? Like allow करता है भाई जा बात कर ले तो इसके एग्जांपल्स कौन कौन से? इसके एग्जांपल्स है ACH, acetylcholine, epinephrine, yes or no? And what do we have? We have noradrenaline, yes or no? Noradrenaline, 1 second बच्चों, yes, noradrenaline, right? And if suppose that I don't want my action, my like signal to go into the another neuron, so I will release what? I will release inhibitory ones, which is GABA, GABA. What is the full form of GABA, sir? Gamma amino butyric acid. GABA amino butyric acid. No one is gonna ask you. Next, serotonin. Next, what, sir? Dopamine. These are what? These are the inhibitory. These are the things which relaxes the bodies, right? So these are the examples of neurotransmitters: stimulating and inhibitory. 1 second. This is the stimulating and this is the inhibitory. Okay, clear? Stimulating what, sir? It is going to excite us. It is going to allow the transmission of the signals from one neurons to the another neurons. And inhibitory will be what? It will reduce something. Let's suppose that heartbeat was increased, so inhibitory आया तो उसको reduce कर दिया. Clear to everyone? Yes or no बच्चों? Yes. Yes or no बच्चों? Clear. चलो. Now sir, you told that there are, when we started this thing, you said that in nervous tissue, two things are there: neurons and neuroglia. We discussed about the neurons, but sir, what about neuroglia? So, let's come here. Let's discuss about the neuroglia also. Let's discuss about the neuroglia. What is it, sir? Pranati, from which class you are? Neuroglia. Let's discuss about neuroglia. So, see what happens now. As I discussed, suppose this is your body. And in your body, there are many neurons. Okay, there are many neurons. But some of the things where neurons are not present, so these cells act as what? These neuroglial cells act as a packaging substance around the neurons. Neurons are present. Neurons के बीच में जो खाली जगह है, the empty space is present between the neurons. They are present here. So they act as what? Packaging material. Yes or no? Packaging material for neurons. But sir, is this the only function? No, it's having more functions. So let's discuss packaging material for neurons. So what is the functions? See here. What is the function, sir? So one is what? One is the astrocytes. Types of neuroglia I am discussing. One is what? Astrocytes. Yes. Group of axons. Okay. Astrocytes, right? Next is oligodendrocytes. Oligodendrocytes, okay? And next we have what? We have microgliocytes, okay? So this astrocytes, bachcho, you forget about oligodendrocytes and you forget about the, what is this? Microgliocytes, whatever. You can forget about these two, but you can't forget about this astrocytes, because this astrocytes is very important, and in NEET the question can be asked that which type of neuroglia cells forms the blood-brain barrier. So the answer will be astrocytes. What is does? It forms the blood-brain barrier. So what is this blood-brain barrier? See here. Suppose that you have taken a food. तुमने कुछ खाना खा लिया. Yes or no? That खाना was toxic. That food was toxic. And there might be a chance that your liver failed to work, and that toxin can reach towards, through the blood towards your brain, right? And if suppose this astrocytes is not there, that toxic will directly reach towards your brain and you may die. So to prevent entering any toxic substance or any kind of harmful substance into the brain, we have what? We have these astrocytes. Clear to everyone? Yes or no? Yes or no? Now what does this oligodendrocytes do? The work of oligodendrocytes is what? It is to form the myelin sheath. Myelin sheath बनाता है किसमें बच्चों? Myelin sheath, देख रहे हो? I am writing the spelling wrong. Myelin sheath. Where, sir? In CNS. Yes or no? in CNS. Okay, yes. Or micro oligocyte. See, micro policeman of the cell. There was this cell, micro policeman of the cell in we discussed in the blood circulation. Micro policemen, scavengers, they were doing phagocytosis. So यहाँ पे भी micro oligocytes will do what? Phagocytosis. Phagocytosis. Is this thing clear to everyone? Tell me what. Is this thing clear to everyone? Neuroglia, astrocytes, oligodendrocytes, and what? मैं इधर हो जाऊँ क्या? गिर जाऊँगा बच्चों. Microgliocytes. Clear? Great. Great. Very good, bachcho. Very good. Now, let's move on. Let's move on and let's talk about the formation of synapse. Let's talk about the formation of synapse. Okay? Formation of synapse. Sorry. हाँ चलो formation of synapse ही दे. Let's talk about the formation of synapse. So sir, synapse कैसे बनते हैं? How the synapse is formed and how they are working? So see here, what can happen if suppose you want to communicate with each other? Okay, your finger wants to communicate with your shoulder. Okay, so the shoulder and the finger, in between shoulder and the finger, lots and lots of neurons are there. Lots and lots of neurons are there. Okay, now all the neurons are kind of interconnected. How they are interconnected? So let's suppose this is the one neuron. This is the one neuron and it is having its axon and the axon terminal, right? And the another neuron will be here with its dendrite, okay, like this. And then it is going to have its axon, then again axon terminal, right? Then another neuron will be present with its dendrite here, yes or no? With its dendrite here, okay? And this is what? This is its axon and with the axon terminal. So see here what is happening. Many neurons are being connected, and the last one, which is near to the finger, it may be connected with what? It may be connected with skin, or it may be connected with the muscle, right? Okay, so suppose that around neurons, yes, suppose that here I am doing what? Here neurons and neurons are present, okay? Here neurons and neurons are present, so I'm going to say it as neurojunction. I'm going to say it as neurojunction. Yes or no? Neurojunction. Junction between two nerve cells or two neurons, neurojunction. Now this is what? This we have. Again, this is also neurojunction. See? Now, bachcho, this is axon. Oh, ungli kahan ja rahi meri? This is axon and this is dendrite, right? So, both are what? Both are neurons, and when both are neurons, we are going to say it as neurojunction. Yes? Neurojunction. Okay, but sir, what about here? Here we have a skin or a muscle. Here we have a skin or a muscle. So let's talk about the muscle first. Let's talk about the muscle. Let's suppose here a muscle is present. So let me draw a muscle kind of thing here. Let's suppose this is a muscle. So then this one is known as what? This one will be known as neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscular junction. Muscular junction, okay? This one will be known as neuromuscular junction. Clear to everyone? Yes or no? Is this thing clear, bachcho? Tell me. If this is clear, let us move on. If this thing is clear, let's move on. Chalo. One second. Just a second. So I am just connecting with the charger. Chalo. Done. Okay? It's done. वापस से आ जाते हैं. Let's move again. Let us move again. What happened बच्चों? क्या हो गया ये? चलो. Yes, everything is fine. सब चीज तो ठीक है. फालतू का डरा देते हो मुझे. चलो. So now let's talk about the synapse and working of the synapse. Okay, so in our body, synapses are of two types. Synapses are what? Synapses are of two types. How many types, sir? One is the electrical and the other one is chemical. Synapse is of two types. How many types? Chemical synapse and electrical synapse. Okay, chemical synapse and the electrical synapse. Okay, one second. Chemical synapse and electrical synapse. And which is more? Rudrakshi, just now we are going to discuss that. Don't worry. Give me 2 minutes. We are going to discuss that only. ठीक है? Okay? अभी वही discuss करेंगे. Just a second, बच्चों. I'll put my laptop in charging. चल. Done. So two types of synapses are there, sir, chemical and electrical. So let us talk about the chemical synapse first. Let us talk about the chemical synapse and its function. अभी तुरंत बता रहा हूँ, okay? Chemical synapse पढ़ते हैं. So chemical synapse is basically what? See, there is one neuron. Let's suppose there is one neuron. यहाँ पे एक neuron है, okay? And this neuron is going to have what? Dendrites and axon, and then the axon terminal, right? So what I am doing is that I am just drawing the diagram for the axon terminal. Okay, I am just drawing the diagram for the axon terminal here. Okay, so the axon terminal is kind of looking like this. The axon terminal is kind of looking like this. Yes, okay. Now this nerve, this neuron is connected to a muscle. Let's suppose this neuron is connected to a muscle. Let's suppose that you touched a hot object. Signal went to your brain and brain said to remove your hand. So that neuron has brought a message to the muscle to remove your hand. Okay. So here, after this, what is present? Here after this, muscles is present, yes or no? So let me draw muscle with the another color. Okay. So this is what? This is the muscle tissue. Okay. Muscle. Now, the distance between, the gap between this one, see here, whose doubt was it? Rudrakshi. See here, what was the doubt? I am gonna clear your doubt right away. See, this was what? This was axon. This is the axon terminal. Yes or no? This is the axon terminal. Axon ka end hai. Terminal. And this is what? This is the muscle layer or muscles ka starting. Right? Muscles. The distance between this, the gap between the muscles and the axon terminal is the synaptic cleft. Clear? This is known as synaptic cleft. Is it clear? This is the synaptic cleft. Okay. This is the synaptic cleft. Right? Okay. Okay, sir. Great. Now see here. This is what? This structure is known as synapse. ये पूरा structure को हम क्या बोलेंगे? Synapse. See. This is what? This is basically the synapse. तो यहाँ पे synapse से पहले क्या हो रहा? Synapse से पहले जो membrane है, that membrane will be known as presynaptic membrane. It will be known as presynaptic membrane. And the membrane which is, hi PUBG, how are you? The membrane which is what? Which is after the synapse. The membrane which is after the synapse is basically what? Postsynaptic membrane. Okay. Yes. PUBG. So no. This channel is basically for English students. So that's why I can't use Hindi here. If any doubts, PUBG, मुझे बता देना. I will translate that thing into Hindi. Okay. Okay, बच्चों. One second. Okay. Clear. Great. Now let's move on. इतनी बातें समझ में आ गई क्या? इतनी बातें बच्चों समझ में आ गई क्या? देखो क्या क्या हमने देखा. Sir, chemical synapse. How synapse is being formed? We had this nerve. We have this कहाँ गया? ये देखो. We have this neuron. Okay. In this neuron, at the end, axon terminal was present. Okay. This neuron was connected with the muscle. किससे connected था? Muscle से connected था. ये जो neuron है वो muscle से connected था. Okay. Yes. तो what we have done? We have just zoomed the axon terminal और यहाँ पे बना दिया. देखो. We have made this axon terminal here. Now this axon terminal was very near to the muscle cell, right? Now the gap between the axon terminal and the muscle cell was known as what? Was known as the synaptic cleft. Cleft means what? गड्ढा. तो इन दोनों के बीच में ये गैप है, इसको हमने क्या बोल दिया? Synaptic cleft बोल दिया. Yes, PUBG, very good. Yes, you can. Definitely you can. It's my promise. It's my promise that you can definitely do it. I'm trying to cover each and everything. Okay. Now see. Now see here. So this region, this is basically what? This is the synaptic cleft, right? Now see. Synapse बना ना यहाँ पे. This is what? This is the synapse. See. ये पूरा ही क्या है? Synapse है. So synapse से पहले क्या present था? Synapse से present है. पहले present है ये वाला मेम्ब्रेन विच इज एक्सॉन टर्मिनल. तो इस मेम्ब्रेन को हमने बोल दिया प्री साइनेप्टिक मेम्ब्रेन. और साइनेप्स के बाद कौन प्रेजेंट है? मसल का मेम्ब्रेन. सो हमने बोल दिया उसको पोस्ट साइनेप्टिक मेम्ब्रेन. क्लियर? क्लियर टू एवरीवन? चलो, इफ दिस इज क्लियर, लेट अस नाउ मूव ऑन एंड लेट अस सी हाउ डज इट वर्क. काम कैसे करता है? सो सी हियर व्हाट इज हैपनिंग ना, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. अगेन a very basic example I'm gonna take. A very basic example I'm gonna take. This is your skin. This is your skin. Okay, you touched a hot object. You touched a hot object. So from your skin, what is happening? See, skin is what? Skin is a sensory organ. So from that, which neuron is gonna come? Sensory neuron. कौन आएगा ये? Sensory neuron आएगा. Yes or no? Okay. Sensory neuron आया. Right? Sensory neuron जो है, sensory neuron जो है क्या करा? Sensory neuron जो है, इसने क्या करा? ये इसने मैसेज भेजा CNS को. Okay. इसने मैसेज भेजा CNS को. राइट नाउ CNS ने डिसीजन लिया, भाई हाथ हटा लो, हाथ हटा लो. राइट तो यहाँ पे ये डिसीजन किसके थ्रू भेजेगा? मोटर न्यूरॉन के थ्रू भेजेगा. तो लेट सपोज मोटर न्यूरॉन को ऐसे बना देते हैं. ठीक है, दिस इज द मोटर न्यूरॉन. एम आई लैगिंग बच्चों? नो नो, लैग हो रही है क्या? PUBG, if it depends on your state. It depends on your state. From which state do you belong and which category do you belong? Okay, if I talk about the general category, so around 630 score is a safe score, I should say, about NEET 2024, and it depends state to state, right? Chalo. So see here, this was what? This is the motor neuron, right? Now this motor neuron will end where? This motor neuron will end near to your muscle. Okay, so here what is present? Your muscle is present. Now see what is happening. A action was generated. That means skin sensed the higher temperature and it developed a signal. Now as soon as the signal reaches the axon terminal, this signal can also be called as action potential. This signal can also be called as action potential. What? West Bengal and general category. So little bit PUBG safe score 600 ऊपर. Okay, safe score for now is 600 at least to try to touch. Okay, no one knows about the 2024 competition. Syllabus has also been reduced, so maybe cutoff may be high. Okay, I'm not saying that होगा ही होगा ज़्यादा, but safe score let's see 600. Okay, ठीक है, state quota से 600 पे college मिल जाएगा. But if you want a college from all India quota, 630 is a safe score. Okay, चलो. Next is what? Next is action potential को. इस action potential को हम signal भी बोल रहे हैं. Okay, now as soon as the action potential reached, Sir, what happened? Calcium channels opened. So number one step, action potential entered and calcium. Second step, what happened? Calcium ion channels opened. Calcium ions channel opened. Okay, so whatever the calcium ion was present outside, what happened? They started coming inside. Okay, they started coming inside. Clear to everyone? They started coming inside. Now sir, inside the axon terminal, there are some synaptic vesicles. And in response to the calcium intake, what happens? These synaptic vessels fuses with what? These synaptic vessels fuses with the membrane and they releases chemicals. And these chemicals are known as neurotransmitters. Yes or no? These are known as neurotransmitters. Clear? Now if I talk about this neurotransmitters, so again it can be of two types as we discussed. We discussed the neurotransmitter can be of two types, stimulating and inhibitory. So if it is stimulating, it can be ACH, acetylcholine, epinephrine and norepinephrine, and if it is inhibitory bachcho, it can be gamma, serotonin and dopamine. So now when this neurotransmitter has been released, what is going to happen? Sir, this neurotransmitter will activate the receptors present in the muscle cells. Here what is happening? Sir, receptors are present. Okay, जैसे तुम्हारे पास ताले की चाबी होती है ना, तो यहाँ पे क्या है, ये रिसेप्टर्स को पता चल जाता है कि भाई न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर आया, तो जैसे ही न्यूरोट्रांसमीटर आएगा वापस से यहाँ एक्शन बन जाएगा और ये या तो दूसरे न्यूरॉन्स में चला जाएगा और मसल सेल है तो व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन. 1 सेकंड, एम आई लैगिंग? 1 सेकंड बच्चों, लेट now I think so everything is fine, right? Now I think so everything is fine. So if what is going to happen here, see, if these neurotransmitter comes and bind with these receptors, these are going to get activated and यहाँ पे भी signal transfer हो जाएगा. Such type of synapse are known as chemical synapse. Yes or no? Such types of synapse is known as chemical synapse. Clear? Yes, PUBG, very good. Norepinephrine and epinephrine or maybe acetylcholine will also be released, right? Activate, stimulate करा, भाई भागना है हमें, तो भागने के लिए क्या होगा? स्टिमुलेटिंग हार्मोन चाहिए. अब तुमने शेर देख लिया, तुम खड़े होकर सोच रहे हो, डोपामाइन निकल गया मान लो. Let's suppose that you saw a lion and your body released a dopamine and you will be like, yes. Then it will start eating you. Then you will remember, oh, okay, body has to release epinephrine and norepinephrine or acetylcholine. So acetylcholine, norepinephrine, epinephrine are what? Are stimulating hormone, and dopamine, gamma, they are what? They are inhibitory hormones. Okay, clear, great, very good, PUBG, very good. What's your real name, PUBG? Should I call you PUBG only? Huh? मुझसे are you gonna promote PUBG? Chalo, see here. Next type of synapse is electrical synapse. Electrical synapse. And in our body, electrical synapse is very few. In our body, electrical synapse is very few. Okay. What is happening here? In electrical synapse, this is again what? This is again the axon terminal. PUBG, we are having Ronti. Okay. Ronti, yes. We are having our regular class from 6:30 to 7:30. Okay. So you can, if you like my class, you can subscribe to this channel so that you can regularly attend my class. Okay, 6:30 to 7:30 every day we are having a class. Okay, maybe it can extend to, you know, little bit timings can be changed, 7 to 8 ho sakta, but whatever is changed in the timing, we will keep you informing everyone. Okay, chalo, great. Now see here, electrical synapse is what? Electrical synapse is nothing but what? Here also we have the axon terminal. Yes. Here also we have the axon terminal, and here also we have what? We have a muscle or maybe another neuron. Okay, here another neuron can also be there, or bachcho, what can happen? Or there can be a muscle also, right? So see, but sir, you said that electrical impulse will be there. Yes. So see, if this is a wire and I'll ask you that bhai, इस वायर से इस वायर में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पास कर दो बिना जोड़े, is it possible? No sir, it's not possible. The wire has to be connected. So if I have to use electrical impulse, I must connect them with something. So the connection between the neurons which is transferring the signals through electrical impulse is known as gap junction. Okay, gap junction, right? किससे होता है? गैप जंक्शन से कनेक्टेड होता है ये लोग. क्लियर टू एवरीवन? यस और नो? बच्चों, इज दिस थिंग क्लियर टू एवरीवन? बताना मुझे. यस, ओके. सो सिड, प्रांति, रुद्राक्षी एंड PUBG, इज इट क्लियर टू एवरीवन? Great. So now what we are going to do is that tomorrow what we are going to start with the human brain. Okay, tomorrow we will going to start with the human brain, and we will complete this chapter. I thought I will be completing this chapter in one go, but unfortunately time is around 8:12. So let's end today's sessions, and tomorrow we will start up with the human brain, and let's join at 6:30 p.m. sharp. Okay, let's join at 6:30 p.m. Okay, till then, bye bye everyone, and I hope that you liked my sessions. Chalo. Bye everyone, and all the very best for each and every one of you